Hello and welcome to this video. So today we are going to start a new series for the multi-level paging, and we will be solving quite a lot of questions regarding this topic, and we will be busting out all the myths and the misconceptions that people have on this topic. So before jumping into directly into the multi-level paging, we will like to solve this little question, which says that here I have given a memory chunk. You can consider this as a main memory or any memory, and this has 2 power 32 addresses, which means each of 1 byte. This is byte addressable, and there are 2 power 32 entries in this. Okay, so I have taken here two chunks. That is, this is one chunk, and this is another chunk. So you can't get why I am doing this right now, but you will get this after we are done with the multi-level paging. So let's now understand the basics why we are doing this. So in this, I am considering that there are 2 power 10 entries. Okay, 2 power 10 entries in one of this chunk, and also in this also we are considering that there are 2 power 10 entries in this chunk also. So now my question is, if I group this as one chunk of 2 power 10 entries in this main memory, so how many such groups will be present in the main memory? That is the real question I have to answer. So let's see. It's very simple thing. That is, we have here 2 power 32 total number of address lines, and we are just grouping 2 power 10 in one. Means I can make this, and there will be several, and this will be the last one. Okay, so each of these will contain 2 power 10 entries, and since this is a 1 byte, so there is no byte conversion also. In these cases, there is no word or byte conversion. So I can directly divide this, that is 2 power 32 divided by 2 power 10, which will be giving me 2 power 22, which means that if I divide this entire address space of 2 power 10 in each chunk, so the number of chunks at this level will be 2 power 22, this number. Okay, understood? Now, next, we are going to the next concept, which is by using this big chunk. As you can see here, each address line consists of 2 bytes of space. Or you can say this is one word. Okay, but my main memory, as we know, it is byte addressable. I have considered. So if I divide this main memory into chunks like this, then obviously the number of chunks will matter in this case. The number of chunks will be different from the previous one, because we are now grouping two entries as one entry in each of these. So it's better to calculate the size of this chunk. So what is the size of this chunk? So let's calculate the size, which is actually 2 power 10 entries, and each entry is of size 2, which means we have 2 power 11 bytes. Okay, now what is the size of the entire memory? This entire memory size is actually 2 power 32 bytes, because we have 2 power 32 entries, and each entry is of size 1 byte. So this gives me 2 power 32 bytes. This is the size of this memory, and this is the size of this memory, and this is the size of this memory. Okay, so now what we are gonna do, we are gonna just simply see how we are dividing this address space. That which means we here have 2 power 11 10 addresses. Obviously we have 2 power 10 in this case, grouping up 2 power 10, but 2 power 10 means we are grouping here two addresses. That means this one entire address as one address in this case. So number of addresses is more. As you can see, it is saying 2 power 11. Then in one of this chunk, we will be having 2 power 11 entries of this memory segment. Why this is so? Because we are grouping 2 as one chunk of this memory. So and each chunk contains 2 power 10 entries. So each will be containing 2 entries. So there will be 2 power 11 chunks, such chunks. Okay, now let us see if we are doing this memory division with this kind of partitioning. So what is the size number of chunks in this case? So if I see number of chunks, it is actually 2 power 32 chunks we have in the last level, and there is 2 power 11 chunks. As I have said here, 2 power 11 chunks in one, 2 power 11 entries in one chunk. So number of chunks will be giving out to be, this is 1 and this is 2. As you can see, this is number is less than the previous one, which was giving me 2 power 22. and this is giving me 2 power 21. Okay, so as we keep on increasing this size of the each word, if I take it at 4 words, then obviously the size will decrease. If I take it as 8 words, obviously the size will again decrease. And the reason is that because we are considering 8 chunks as one, sometimes 2 chunks as one, sometimes 4 chunks as one. That is the reason why it is going to decrease drastically. So the naive approach, or the way you should do in order to avoid any kind of calculation mistakes, is to calculate the size of both the memories and then divide by both of them. Because if we deal with the entries only, it is good for a byte addressable memory and for a byte addressable chunk. But if it is a word addressable chunk and a byte addressable memory, or vice versa, then it is not feasible because you can make mistakes and there is very high probability that you will make a mistake. So it is always feasible to write the entire size of the memory chunk and also the size of the entire logical chunk that you are dividing it. Okay. And moreover, one note in this video I will give, that all these chunks that I have seen, that you have seen in this video, are actually the logical partitioning. So there is no physical partitioning of the main memory in this case. Thank you. See you in the next video.